Hi guys, welcome to another video on Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred, and in today's video I'd like to share with you my progress in the Season 14 using Wizard Firebird set gear. So there will be a Greater Reef AT solo recorded for you, and I'll narrate as I play the solo of Greater Reef AT. And before I get there, just a little bit sharing on my gear. Now, the gear that I have is not really that great. I don't really have a full set of ancient. I'm still collecting 6 more items, and I've only augmented 3 of them for a dam that is range from 70 to 80. So in short, there's still quite a lot of room for improvement for my wizard. So 80 is still rather like it's all right. I mean, it's a good place to be at. Anything beyond 70, you're eligible for the primal ancient, but you always try to get a little bit higher, or at least play in a way that you feel kind of like excited that there are chance of defeated and lose that one chance to roll your dam, and then there are also chances whereby you may not complete it. You just want to go as far as you can. Now, I always go back to the various seasons that I've participated because it's kind of interesting to compare class to class, because I always have a lot of discussion with friends who may have quitted Diablo 3 on how imbalanced the whole classes are, and I sort of agree after I've kind of played the wizard. So if I look at my season, I've spent around 80 hours playing my wizard. The highest I've got is 80 solo. Or 85 when I'm with four players. So I do kind of feel that there are kind of like, as per my current build, it is probably where I can reach. I could push for a little bit higher, like 85, if I could augment one extra item or 2 extra items. But I really feel that maybe if I collect more ancient, I could do a little bit better. But I think 80-85 is where my wizard can go, and I spend like about 80 hours. My Paragon is still only 800. It's not 800 yet. Now, compared to the last season when I played the Demon Hunter, and my Paragon is still like 722. Sorry, the Demon Hunter, but I play only 51 hours, so there are quite a lot of difference in terms of the time spent playing a class, because like I said before, Demon Hunter is probably one of the strongest I have in all my seasons, the most smooth sailing one. Now Demon Hunter, I went up to I didn't really do a lot of like solo. I don't know why I ignored it, but 2 players 80, 3 players 88 with my friends as well. So with my wife cup. So that is probably the highest I've got in 3-player kind of like a record. In terms of the season even before, it was a Crusader, also around 48 hours. So that is usually the time I spend with the season hero, and I sort of like struggled a little bit with my Crusader, so it's about 75 kind of thing. But it's sort of like I see improvement from season to season. I think that is really the gist of it. And back to my season 11, my first participation in the season was Necromancer. I love it. I spent a lot of time playing that because I just like how the Necromancer play, and I also level up Witch Doctor, just for fun. And the record wise is about 85 on the solo. So what I try to say is that, of course, I spent a lot more time on the Necromancer back then. So I usually play around 80-85, and that's my range, because I don't really have a lot of time per season. But so that is where I am on my wizard. While I spend quite a lot of time playing it, but I'm quite happy and proud that I've got that far with my wizard. I'd like to share with you a little bit on my gear, and then after that I'll go into the actual Greater Reef itself, a little bit of gameplay here. Now, before I get there, of course, I always like to go back to where I am using the Kanai Cube. I'm still using the Aquila Cuirass, and that is probably one of the reasons why I'm not progressing as far as I could with my wizard, because the right gear to use is this guy here, the Nefer boost, because that will increase my meteor by a great amount. But it's just that without this guy, I just can't stay like undefeated, or I'll experience a lot of like defeat in a greater rift, or in even a rift, and it doesn't really feel that kind of like fun to me. So but that sacrifices tremendous amount of DPS, and I can feel that because, as you can see in the video later, I do struggle quite a fair bit against the Guardians, and that has been a common theme of my entire Wizard season actually. And you know, as for the ring, I still don't have the Halo of Karini for whatever reason that is beyond my comprehension. Although I've played like 80 hours, I've done countless number of bounty and Greater Rift, it just don't have it. And even when I'm with my wife, she only got one of them. Of course, you keep it and she's been using it, but I don't have it. So without it, my build is also a little bit limited on what I can do. So that is really the something rather regretful about this season. It's just I don't have something, I just don't have it. But in terms of my gear wise, before I go into the Greater Rift, I've got the you know, I still have my head item that is not an ancient. That is rather unfortunate. I try. Probably this is the hardest time I try to get an ancient out from the Bloodshot. So like I said before, I've opened up like 45 you know, T13 bounty cash, all the Bloodshot I've earned. I've from then till now I probably spent like maybe 10 hours or so farming for Greater Rift, or you know, all this dam that I have, Bloodshot that I have no zero cost on. So that's just one of those things that I keep trying, don't have it. Another thing that I don't, well, I mean, I don't have the ancient for this, but it's not that critical because my role is rather okay. But it's you know, if you don't have ancient, you can't augment it, but that's about it. So I've got two of them that I don't have. I've got my third one I don't have is the glove as well. But like I said, I mean, glove is also hard to get the crit damage and crit chance to be at the same kind of like item at a reasonably high range. So again, not much of a complaint, just that I don't have an ancient already. So there are 3 items, and the 4th item I don't have an ancient. I tried that. I tried to carve it. I just run out of material. I have to do some bounty to get it, but it is what it is as of today. The 2 rings as well. Again, it's not a bad roll, because like I said, I mean, crit hit and crit chance side by side is the most I can ask for. So you know, this is not an ancient, and this is also not an ancient, but it's, again, you know, it's a nice like fixes to it. And the buff, the orange text buff is not that bad as well. It's close to 200%. So it could have been worse. It could have been worse. But other than that, I mean, besides the 2 ring, 1 amulet with 3 item, glove, 4 item, 5 items, and the waist belt item, I've got the rest of it are all ancient. So you know, it is what it is. And 3 of them I've augmented with a dam that is of various kind of like levels. I think this one I've augmented with a rank 70 dam. Then I augmented this guy with the this guy with a rank 77 dam, and I've got one more. I can't remember which one I put it to. I think I got 3. No, I don't. Oh well, you know, maybe for all you know, I only like have 2 gems inside, or 3 gems. No, 2 gems. So yeah, that is what I have today. So yep, it's oh okay, this is 75. So I can 75, rank 75, rank 70, and rank 77, which is here. So 3 items augmented. So whatever you see in later on the clip, just put that into consideration when you watch it. And yeah, here we go. I mean, you know, this is me attempting a Greater Rift 80. So I hope you like it. So this was recorded this morning. It was a weekend, so you know, it's my second time to try a Greater Rift 80. The first time I managed to do it without defeat and set a time, not a great time, but you know, a time nonetheless. So this is the second time I'm trying a Greater Rift 80. So bees are terrible and the fireballs are terrible so far. All right, so I'm just trying to you know, just teleport around to get the first elite. So this guy is grotesque, that will explode when it kind of like die. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of damage I've taken. But every time I take a damage more than 10% of my life, I will cast a Frost Nova automatically. So that is probably one of the good thing about this build, and it's quite durable against the melee damage. But against the range like the bees, like the fireball, it's just not that durable. Now a big bunch of it, and I've got about 5 stack of Firebird kind of like a thing. Still no elite, so I'm just trying to clear off as much as I can without getting beat. And there's a lot of poison on the floor as well. Try not to get myself to it, but luckily I've got teleport. A whole bunch of bees that I walk into, a bit of dumb of me. So finally I've got the elite, quite happy about it, but it's arcane enchanted. So there's also a poison there, there's bee, there's grotesque. So try very hard to get out. Oh well, you know, I was quite lucky not to get defeated then. So I'm still trying to. There's a 20 stack of the Firebird, and now it dropped off down to 1, so suddenly I become quite vulnerable. Alright, so now it's a whole bunch of grotesque, whole bunch of melee, and I was like, okay, that's fine, not too bad. The third elite, I'm quite happy to see, is an Orbiter, Desecrator, Waller, and one more Illusionist, I think. Then I go into one of the buff that my follower has laid upon, so you know, give me a little bit more damage. But I sort of like also stood on the ground just to maintain my you know, the endless walk kind of buff to, you know, when you stay still you deal more damage, when you keep walking, moving, you deal more kind of like, you receive lesser damage. So a lot of poison here, a lot of like you know, Frost Nova, because I keep losing life. Right, next stage, this is the level 2 of it, still walking against the you know, enemy here. Nothing too hard in this, all the mobs here are not too horrible. The only thing is that I'm running a little bit late as well, you know, the progress wise. So I saw a bull, and I wanted to try to see whether I can damage him from the other side. Probably not a good idea, because I've got like you know, the buff against the, I mean the lesser damage against the melee. Try to stand on the buffed kind of like area and try to just like, you know, kill off the monster. I was lucky, it was a fire kind of like phase for the Ring of Convention. So, you know, and you can see that the damage is a lot better once you have that. Now this map, level 3, is kind of hard because all this porcupine tends to take out a lot of your health, or my wizard's health, and it's an ice damage, I believe, and it's really hurtful. All these things that, so you just have to keep moving and try not to, you know, and there are 13 step, 14 step of Firebird, so you can see that a lot of enemies are being debuffed by the Ignite as well. My wife went on line, but I sort of like, you know, just have to continue doing this. Then this is the Mortar, Orbiter, Avenger, so that is not that nice. Just, you know, try to get that down. Again, it was a fire phase, so that you can see that things suddenly get destroyed. I wish that you know, there are some rings that I could get constant damage buff rather than just at the fire phase and get awesome, but there isn't anything like that. This is the plaque, and just, you know, keep you know, a watchful eyes on what's on the floor, I guess, because there's a lot of ice thing going on, and this could easily one-shot the target. But although I've got 20 stacks of Firebirds, there's 60% damage reduction, as well as the damage reduction from the Aquila Cuirass, as well as the Endless Sword. I think there's a bit of it, and also and when I receive like a melee damage, I've got a prop something else as well. That's from my, I think, ring, or from one of my ability. Okay, I'm still trying to get the thing down. I'm getting a little bit ahead of time, but still it's not that fast. It's fire phase, so it's supposed to be really good here, but it's alright. It's not that fantastic. Alright, so next stage. Now I'm a little bit ahead of time and still not undefeated, so that is good news. Trying to walk around and try not to get you see, hit by all these things. I mean, as you can see, I mean, even with my Aquila Cuirass as well as Endless Walk, I'm like, you know, one shot is like half my health gone. Can you imagine without the Aquila Cuirass, I'll take like, you know, at least additional I think 3 times more damage. So it basically get one shot if I missed one of these things. Now the more target get frozen, of course, due to my ancient Parthian brace, I get more damage reduction. I believe it's 9% per per enemy being frozen. I think the top row is 11%, but I don't have that. But that is the only ancient I've got. I've got a lot of kind of you know, mobs, but you know, with 20 stat of Firebird, it does help in a way. Alright, so I'm kind of ahead of time, but not to celebrate too soon, because you never know, all this Greater Rift, sometimes you just get owned in some sense. Alright, 50 stats of and a swap, so that is another good kind of like you know, damage reduction. Now there is a plague teleporter frozen fast, so I'm just trying to stand onto the buff from my follower. This is the fire phase. As you can see, suddenly the mobs getting destroyed quite fast, avoiding the frozen a little bit and avoiding the punch here. See, I walked just an inch away from the hit, and yep. So it's a little bit of like have to be aware of what's happening. I try to dodge things without getting too panicky, and try to avoid the porcupines kind of like you know, attack as well. The frozen attack, the spike, very painful. Now yet another level. I kind of like you know, I think it's the 4th level within the rift here. These are all melee kind of thing. Nothing too like you know, hard here. Conduit, which is the zapping or the things around, which is nice. Just destroy as much as I can. That is the Juggernaut, Poison Enchanted, Vortex, and so on. So have to be a little bit careful though. Poison is always a little bit hard when it comes to, you know, all these things on the floor. Sometimes it's very hard to see as well, because you know, the fire damage is just a lot of red on top of whatnot. So this is a Molten Teleporter, Jailer, Desecrator. So just need to keep walking around a little bit, and yep, that does the job. The Shrine helps, of course. Next bit is quite a lot of like a melee, so never quite scared of that. Trying to go up to see whether there is another elite up there. So I thought the one on the left, the one on the right, and nope, there's no, like, you know, lays engage any elite. Quite a few enemies here, so I'm just trying to see whether I should destroy them down as much as I can. There's a damage over time, of course, once you have 3 types of like you know, there are 13 targets being ignited. So once it's you know, you get the you know, meteor, you got the arcane torrents, as well as the you know, magic kind of weapon also have something on that as well. Now what I've noticed here, and I think you should notice too, is that you know, because I passed the 10 minutes time frame soon, and I kind of like, without really knowing it, because my rift doesn't really go more than 10 minutes, to be honest. That is not usually something I do. So I sort of forgotten to you know, to trigger my magic armor, which is kind of like a shame, because without that it hurt my DPS for quite a fair bit, because there's just no ignite. So the next bit is really the shield, and I was thinking whether I should take a shield or not, because I thought I should down this guy first, and who knows, then I can take the shield, and then I can take the shield against the Guardian. So by now, you know, once you get a shield, it's actually rather straightforward, and nothing too hard on that. And it's a fire phase, so you know, things just drop very fast, as you can see there. You can feel a difference there. Now I'm having the armor. Well, I'm being blocked by the enemies here, but my magic armor is going to be you know, just going to expire very soon, which is a bit unfortunate that I didn't notice that. Alright, so this yet another whole bunch of like things, and these are one of these dungeons that is rather hard to get past. So now it's just that it's done. I think the Guardian is out, still undefeated as of now, just a little bit more. And unfortunately, as you can see, my magic kind of armor is off, and I could have, you know, done a little bit better by remembering that. You know, that's a little bit unfortunate. From this point onwards, basically, there's no like ignite against it. So, but anyway, it's only 3%. So note to my future self. Always check my armors, especially when the rift go beyond 10 minutes. You know, normally my rift is around 7 minutes or so. So rarely I do a 10 minutes kind of rift here. So yep. So the fire phase, and things should be a little bit faster. Maybe not. All right. So that is done. All right, and the Rift Guardian is out. Now I'm taking the Rift Guardians, and you know, this is the Crusader King. And it's actually the maybe it's an easier one against me, a lot of melee. and then I think soon I noticed something is wrong with the ignite thing. You can see that without the armor buff, my it hardly does any damage somehow. Maybe it's a good way to also demonstrate how important it is to have to use the Firebird kind of like thing. Now I'm taking a lot of damage here, mainly because of the range target. You have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the skeleton kind of like a mage kind of thing. Those are really hard to get destroyed. Now I remember to use my magic armor, but then my ice armor is coming off soon. Again, it's sort of like one of those things I forgot. So I'm trying to now the boss is ignite. It's a lot faster, and that's done. All right, so my armor is off as well. So I've completed. Last record was 12 minutes, and now it's 11 minutes. So I shave off another minute of time. But like I said, it's really much depending on the map, depending on the bosses as well. And there's no defeat 4 times. So it's either being of the trap or being of the stricken. At the end of the day, 1 fail and 1 succeed, and 1 succeed. 1 fail. So I got 2 upgrade on my dam, and I try to get to the 81 as well. Time to go back, and and I hope you get an idea how the wizard plays like. Whatever you watch here has to go back to the my gear as well, because it may take long, it may take like whatever, but then it's the build is the gear. There's still quite a lot of room for improvement. If I could hit 85 before the end of season, there will be quite a good kind of milestone to check off. And who knows, I may be able to do a little bit more videos with maybe more in a group environment rather than solo. And so I hope you're gonna enjoy Diablo 3. The season has been fantastic. I've got to learn so much, even playing a class that is not as strong, but I can learn a little bit on that as well. Again, no loot, and who knows, maybe I get better luck next time. Alright, so I'll see you next time. Goodbye.